Hello and welcome to this episode of One-on-One Sports. As always, I'm Matt Holzapfel.
And I'm Andrew Vendelis. We have a lot planned for today, so in order to start us off, let's jump right in with the quick hitters. Senior quarterback Kelly Bryant announced his decision to transfer from Clemson after losing the starting job to freshman Trevor Lawrence. But in their last game against Syracuse, Lawrence was injured in the first half and did not return. Matt, does this situation impact Bryant's decision to transfer at all?
Absolutely not, and here's why. In the press conference after the game, Dabo Swinney was asked, would you take Kelly Bryant back? He wouldn't answer any questions about it. He's not talked to Kelly Bryant since. I just really feel like Kelly Bryant is done at Clemson. On top of that, Chase Bryce didn't look bad. They play Wake Forest next week, and yesterday they announced Trevor Lawrence was fine. He will start. Kelly Bryant's gone at Clemson.
I know it's got to have him second guessing, at least after the game. I mean, Clemson squeaked out a win, barely, 27-23. And as you mentioned, Chase Bryce did not look bad coming in for Trevor. I mean, he threw for 83 yards, 7 for 13. Not terrible. He did enough. But if you're Bryant, you got to be thinking, that could have been me.
Yeah, and he said, this is a direct quote, to me, it was a slap in the face. Of course, because you're your senior starter and you get supplanted by a freshman who just came there. And no offense to Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence looks great.
Oh, he's fine.
But that was Kelly Bryant's team. You have to be offended. And why don't you go use that 1 year of eligibility somewhere else, and then you can play in the NFL?
And a lot of what that Clemson comeback was mounted off was by the running back Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
I mean, 200 yards,
fantastic.
3 touchdowns. Yeah. So it wasn't really Bryce making the difference at all. It was more on the running game of Clemson. But either way, I just think he's got to be second guessing.
Absolutely, good win for Clemson this past week. Mets ace Jacob DeGrom finished the year with a record of 10-9, but there is much more than what meets the eye. Aside from the record, DeGrom finished with an ERA of 1.70, which was best in the league among starting pitchers. He also set a new major league record with 29 consecutive starts where he allowed less than 3 runs. And with all that being said, he's not the favorite to win the Cy Young in the NL. Is that wrong?
Absolutely. DeGrom is the 7th pitcher in MLB history to throw for more than 215 innings with a 1.70 ERA, as you mentioned, or better, which is absolutely insane.
Insane.
And while he was 10-9, that shouldn't hinder his skills or anything, his view on a talent at all, because those games were decided by a few runs or less, where he lost.
I know stats aren't everything, but stats are so much for Jacob DeGrom. You look at this, he was second in the NL Cy Young race behind Max Scherzer for the strikeouts. And yes, Max Scherzer threw 300 strikeouts, which is fantastic. Credit to him. But look at this. If the Mets had scored at least 4 runs in all of DeGrom starts, he's 30-0. The best season in MLB history. If they score 3, 25-1. 2, 20-6. So the Mets averaged 4 runs a game, and the simple fact that they couldn't provide run support should not hinder Jacob DeGrom's ability to win the Cy Young.
Exactly. We should look at this and realize that a performance like his this season doesn't come around every season, if at all. So the MLB needs to capitalize on what they have here and, give him the Cy Young, or at least present him as a favorite, not just a, dark horse in the race.
Yeah, we said it in passing, but that 29 straight starts with less than 3 runs is absurd. Unheard of. It's great. Jacob DeGrom is great. He should win the NL Cy Young.
Late last week, the Carolina Panthers signed safety Eric Reid to a 1-year, $1 million contract. Reid is the first player who protested with Colin Kaepernick to get signed by another NFL team. Despite what many say, the Panthers GM and owners say this was a strictly football decision. Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
100%. It's a football decision, plain and simple, and it's because of injuries. Denoris Cersei just joined a long list of secondary players in Carolina to hop on the IR this past week. David Gettleman, or not David Gettleman, their whole ownership organization said this is not, they didn't even ask him about the anthem protest when they talked to him, didn't talk about it. Eric Reid's a good football player. People forget that. He was a Pro Bowler in his time with the Niners.
He's a small sample size as well. And when you look at it, the Carolina secondary, they only have 3 safeties on their depth chart as well, and the injuries. And you're looking at Carolina's secondary, they're not great in passing stats either. They're 14th in yards per game, 13th in pass yards per game, and in addition, like Eric Reid gives them a solid chance to sneak into the top 10.
There's no reason Eric Reid shouldn't start Sunday. There's no reason he shouldn't be the starter in their first game. He's the best raw talent safety. As soon as he's up to speed with their defense, you got to put him in the lineup.
And I think this was a purely football decision because, as I said, you look at that sample size, you look at the Pro Bowls he made, and while he had some time off from the league, this gives him a chance to throw him right back into a fire with a team that actually has a chance to contend for a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. When he was on the Niners, his best season, he was 3rd in tackles with 73 behind Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis, tackling machines.
Absolutely.
Eric
and he's a safety. And it just shows that they are looking at this from a talent perspective and nothing more, in my opinion.
I'm glad Eric Reid's on the team. He deserved to be on a roster.
Same here.
On Sunday, the New York Yankees hit home run number 265, breaking the all-time record for team home runs in a season set by the 1997 Seattle Mariners. Andrew, baseball's had its issue with popularity as of late. Does having a team that powerful as the Yankees have been boost a new age of popularity?
I think everyone loves two things in baseball. Bombers,
Yep.
home runs, and star power. And the Yankees are the perfect team for it. Their team is a staple in the MLB, one of the first names you think of when you think of baseball. Plus, they're always a draw, and they have 5 players with 25-plus home runs. Giancarlo Stanton has 38.
Yes, but I don't think this has impacted the amount of people watching baseball for the sole reason that home runs are up, but so are strikeouts, which is arguably, from a hitting perspective,
Could this just
the most
be that
boring
the game is
play.
getting better, maybe?
Maybe. The level of play is obviously up, but we'll use Giancarlo Stanton as an example. He was obviously very high in home runs, very high in strikeouts too. When he's good, he's very good. When he's bad, he's very bad.
It's like the Mark Reynolds syndrome, but for the
Exactly,
entire
yeah.
MLB. Who knows? But I think if you're looking at this from a milestone perspective, 265, I couldn't think of a better team than the Yankees.
Of course, they're the Bombers. It has to be the Yankees. There's only a matter of time.
Yeah, even if they're only just a lock for the wild card, I think this creates more hype and buzz for the playoffs overall. It's cash money, if you ask me.
Yep, and it's so big that they're playing in Yankee Stadium for the wild card because the balls fly, the balls carry, home runs are going. Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, home runs are getting out. Yankees will win the wild card because of the home run.
Yeah, the Yankees could be making a really, really deep playoff run there. And what a better way to cap off a good regular season than starting off the playoffs hot, hitting even more bombs. Who knows?
Home runs in the wild card, guarantee. But that's all the time we have for the quick hitters.
When we come back, I'll be hitting the links in France for a recap of the Ryder Cup.